Like, do you want me to sit here and just be like, hey, man, who do you think you could take in a fight? A grizzly bear, an ostrich, a tiger, or a koala? Like,
All right.
all right. Welcome back to the Chow and Dimes podcast. Appreciate you for coming back, and thank you for watching episode 1 if you did. If not, you can find it on the YouTube channel. Hey, man.
Hey, man.
How we doing? What do we got today?
Let's do some over-unders. How you feeling about that? Let's do some
For the
over-unders.
NFL? I'm down.
NFL.
I'm down.
Yes. All right. So, let's start with the big boy teams. All right. Let's start with the big boy teams. We got Chiefs at 11.5. I
think that's pretty reasonable.
You want me to give you 3 teams that are 11.5? I'll give you 3 teams.
Yeah.
Okay. So 3 teams that are 11.5. Chiefs, Bengals, Eagles. What's your opinion on that?
Chiefs, Bengals, Eagles.
Yeah.
Chiefs, Bengals, Eagles. I mean, it makes sense. Bengals, though, might be in a little bit of trouble because of what... Have you seen what happened with Joe Burrow?
Yeah. I think it's just a calf strain.
I don't think it'll be anything like
calf
too
strains
crazy.
can linger, though.
Yeah.
A while. So I don't know if it's going to be something that bothers him the whole season, but I think he'll be okay.
I think he'll be fine
it's
after
early
like
enough in the season, you know.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine after the first the first 2 weeks, but other than that, I mean, that makes sense to me. I don't see, like, no offense, but I don't see the Eagles shitting the bed this year. I see them winning their division and everything, but...
Yeah. No, I don't blame you. I feel the same way. Well, so you think all over? What's your opinion? All over?
Yeah, I could see them going all over. I can also see the Bengals maybe going 11-6.
Yeah.
Still messes me up that they have 17 games. It's been 2 years. But yeah, I could see them everyone the Chiefs and the Chiefs and the Eagles definitely. The Bengals maybe just because they are in a pretty tough division.
Yeah.
Like,
I think let's focus strictly on like divisional matchups and not necessarily their games outside the division. Yeah. So that's just so it's easier for us to like think about it quickly. So yeah, for me personally, Chiefs over, Bengals over, Eagles under, and I'm only saying that because the division's gotten harder in NFC East, I think. So, I don't know. And the Eagles did lose a lot of pieces. Especially in their secondary.
It also was the best division in football.
It's one of the
last
best.
year.
Yeah, it's always been one of the most competitive. Not necessarily best, but definitely one of the most competitive. So, okay. Let's go to 10.5. 49ers, Bills, Ravens are 10.5. What do you think about those teams?
The Bills, it makes sense for it to be 10.5 because their division is very competitive this year. I think 10.5, but I also see them being 10-7. You know, like I see that being like
10-7 makes sense. Yeah. I think they could beat the Jets. Like I think they'll go like 1-1 against each team almost like in their division. I feel like that's pretty realistic.
I feel like the Patriots are just going to get stomped this entire year, but
Patriots somehow end up just, going decently well against the teams in their division though.
Yeah,
every year. So I think they'll hold their own.
Yeah.
So yeah, if the Bills, let's say the Bills go 2-0 against the Patriots, 1-1 against the Jets and the Dolphins. I think with that alone, I think I could see them getting 10 wins, maybe getting a wild card spot. That's if the Jets have a good season, though. But if we're assuming the Jets don't, then different. But I think you said last episode that you think Miami's going to win the division, which I think too. So, but we'll get to Miami. That one's interesting.
I also feel like that division will be separated by a half of a game. Mm-hmm. Like, the number one, the winner of the division, and then the number, let's say, 3 seed in that division could literally be separated by less than a game. Mm-hmm. Maybe that doesn't make any sense, but I see that division winner having a game or a half game advantage upon the second. But who else we got? What's the next?
Well, what do you think about 49ers and Ravens though? In the 10.5 wins. 49ers, I think over.
49ers, I think it's kind of like it's a mixed bag just because you don't know what quarterback you're going to get. If it was Brock Purdy, I probably would say 11.5 about. But
last time
the Ravens could fuck around and win their division.
They could.
But
That's
they're
tough
just
division, though.
very inconsistent. Well, not inconsistent. It's more of like you don't know what Lamar is going to be like after getting paid, coming off of an injury. You don't know what Odell is going to be like, considering he hasn't played football since the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah,
So
true.
them two, I'm very like mixed about because also the Niners quarterback situation is the thing that like I think that's the reason why the number is 10.5 because you don't know if you're getting Brock Purdy, you don't know if you're getting Trey Lance, you don't know if you're getting Sam Darnold.
Well, I was gonna say though, news just came out that Darnold's won, and Trey Lance is looking like the third string right now. They're saying I don't know where I saw that on Bleacher Report, so I don't know how that's even possible. But anyway, for me, yeah, I think I said 49ers over, Bills under, Ravens under. Those are my predictions. Okay, so 9.5. I'm not gonna do all the teams. I'm just gonna do the bigger time teams, or the teams we're more interested in about.
Mm-hmm.
Jags, Lions, Jets, Saints are all 9.5.
The Saints are 9.5.
Saints are 9.5. Well, look at their division. It's terrible. Their division's terrible. They'll go 2-0 probably against Falcons, and they'll probably go.
Jags, that makes sense. I think the Jags take a good
Jags,
step this year. I think they go over. I think they win 10 games this year. Exactly 10 games this year.
Yeah, Lions. I can see Lions going like game over 500 maybe.
I can see the Lions winning 11 games. Division is
I don't know.
weak. Division is very weak.
That would be game changing if the Lions went over. If they got 11 wins,
I'm pretty sure
that would change everything because they've always been bad for a long time.
Pretty sure they're favored to win their division, but
They
the
are.
lines could have changed
They
the
are
last time
favored.
I checked. But
And okay, what about Jets? What do you think about Jets then? You think under 9.5?
you know,
I think
like
that's a good.
the hater part of me wants to just
Yeah.
sit here and go under, but the other part of me is like, I mean, they got a good squad, you know.
That's a good over under.
As much as I hate the Jets as an organization, just because they're the Jets, I don't know.
That's a good over under though. I think 9.5 is a good number.
Yeah.
That's a
I
tough
think so,
bet.
too.
That's a really tough bet.
That's a bet I don't bet.
For me, I'm going Jags over, Lions over, Jets under. I'm sticking to that. Saints over.
All right.
So
What about next?
okay, so 8.5. Again, I'm just doing the teams that we're interested in. Steelers, Vikings, Broncos. 8.5. What's your opinion on the Steelers? Going 8.5.
Dude, it's something where I actually talked about this to my cousin who love him to death.
Yeah.
But I asked him, what's your floor and what's your ceiling for this season? Because obviously we're
For
going
Steelers?
through
Okay.
we're going through a little bit of like an adjustment period. You know, we got a lot of new faces and everything. Kenny's got to, take that little bit of a step forward. So in my mind, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I think the floor is 8. I think the floor is 8 wins. The ceiling, I see it being 10, 11. So I think 9.5 or 8.5 is a great number. Personally, I took the over.
It's toughest division in football, in my opinion, right there. So just by saying that, I mean, I want to say over on them. I really do, but that's such a toss-up.
Anyone that says under is stupid.
Yeah.
Tomlin hasn't
It's
had
not
a
under.
losing
I don't think it's
season.
gonna be. It's a toss-up still, I think, but I wouldn't say under. I would go over.
Bro, Tomlin hasn't had a losing season ever, and it's 8.5. But I also think the books are saying like, oh wow, everybody knows that because whenever they bring up Tomlin as a coach, the first thing they say is, yeah, he hasn't had a losing season as a coach. So you don't know. But also,
actually,
I mean,
you don't.
Whatever. The
Well,
Steelers
but let's go with Vikings though. Let's continue with Vikings. What do you think
Under.
about under?
under. They have no defense. Yeah, they got Jay Jettas. They got, choke job, Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm. He is.
Any of my first-time bettors out there, let me give you a piece of advice. There are 3 things that are certain in life. The first thing is death. Second thing is taxes. The third is no matter who he plays in prime time, you bet the other team if it's Kirk Cousins. If it's an 8 o'clock game, you bet the other team if the quarterback is Kirk Cousins. Blows my mind when I see these people online that are like, oh yeah, the Vikings on Monday Night Football are a lock. Are you stupid?
Nah, yeah, that's
Are
kind
you
of absurd.
stupid?
They have talent though, but their defenses are let down. Simple.
I mean,
as that.
no
think their
offense,
defenses are
no
let
offense
down.
to you guys. Like I understand you guys had a great season last year, but
That was pretty equal game though.
It was,
Equal
but
teams.
it proved the point. If Kirk Cousins is your quarterback in a playoff game, I don't give a fuck if you're playing St. Mary's House of the Blind. I'm hammering that money line. Because this is how the game will go. First half, he'll stink up the joint. He'll literally throw 2-3 picks. He'll be down like, let's say, 21-3 at the half. Mm-hmm. The other team will come out and, kind of go a little bit soft and everything. He'll come out guns blazing. He'll come out the first drive, get a touchdown. Throughout the rest of the game, the final score, at the half, the score will be 21-3. By the end of the game, it'll be like 24-28. You look at the score and you're like, oh, wow, it must have been a pretty close game. But if you don't see the context of the game, you're going to sit there and say, wow, Kirk Cousins had 340 yards and 3 touchdowns or whatever. How did he lose the game? Well, maybe it's because the fact that he threw fucking 3 interceptions in the second quarter alone.
I know, yeah.
And one was taken back for a pick 6. What more do you need to know? But anyway, I would hammer that under.
I'm going under as well, because if the Lions have a good season and the Packers are decent, not terrible, which I think
your boy Jordan Love.
I think they'll be close to 500.
Makes sense.
So if that happens, I think Vikings will fall naturally. So, how about the Broncos? I think that's an interesting one. I just want to say right off the bat, I think Broncos are going to be very good next year. Just purely off talent and coaching now. So, I don't know. What do you think?
I love Sean Payton as a coach.
So do
I really do. I think he's a great coach, great for culture, great for everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't stand Russell Wilson. I can't.
That's bold, though, to say that, considering all the success he's had. That's just bold, I think.
I don't like, he's so corny.
He's corny. He's corny, but he's a good player. He's corny in real life, good player on the field.
Dude, how many good players do you know that practice giving fans high fives in practice?
Okay, well, that's different. Okay, I didn't know he was doing that.
And, bro, how many times have you ever given yourself a nickname?
Probably never. No one.
This guy goes on his Instagram and just goes, guys, I think I need a new nickname, man. I'm going to start calling myself Mr. Unlimited.
That video is amazing. I love that video.
Yeah, but it's so
I hate it.
Corny,
it's corny,
bro.
But I love it. I love it, though.
Because you're not sitting there saying, wow,
it's funny as fuck.
He's Mr. Unlimited. Wow. And the best part is, last year, I understand the season they had and everything, and yada, yada, yada. Nathaniel Hackett is, garbage, but they let him cook. Pete Carroll, a lot of people don't know this, but you remember, I wish I could remember this season, but do you remember there was one season when he was on the Seahawks through the first, I want to say 6 weeks of the season, he was lighting it up. He was cooking. And he was cooking, and then he starts having a couple bad games, and then Pete Carroll goes, okay, let's go back to what made it. That proves to you. Do you think that Pete Carroll doesn't know his own quarterback? He had the keys to the bus. He had everything he could ever want last season. And the fact that there was a stat going around where at one point of the season, if he would have scored 17 points in every game, they would have had easily a positive record. But the fact that he couldn't do it, and maybe I'm just hating on the guy.
Bad coaching, dude. You got to put it on coaching.
I know. I do. Yes. Maybe it is just me hating him
just
and
not lacking. Remember the game that they had where they literally wasted 30 seconds for calling a timeout when they were at the 45 of took a field goal after that.
Mm-hmm.
That was stupid. That's all coaching, dude. I think they're gonna. It's such a hard over under. That's personally, a very good spot.
I wouldn't
8.5 is a very good spot for that over under for them because that could go either way. I'm gonna go under right now, but 8 wins.
I'm going under too because look at who's in their division. You got to see the Chargers, the Chiefs.
I still think they get 8 though, but we'll see.
But whatever. Who's next? Who we got at 7.5?
So 7.5. Packers and Giants are the ones that stick out. Packers, I think. Oh man. Well, Giants, I'm going over just because I think Giants are still not respected as a team, and there's still a lot for them to show as a team. And I think they'll improve. I think their squad's improved. Best coaching, one of the best coaching staffs in general as a whole in the league. Probably top 5, I would say. Daniel Jones is going to improve. Dave Darren Waller. Saquon's back. He's happy. So
we will be also talking about that later.
We'll talk about that. And then, so I think Giants get at least 9. I think the Giants get at least 9. And then Packers, I would say 8. So.
Packers, I'm taking under, and don't crucify me, but I'm taking the Giants under.
Yeah, a lot of people have. I don't blame you for saying that because a lot of people are saying under.
Have you seen
their schedule's tough?
Terrible.
Their schedule's tough.
Oh my god! It also doesn't help that.
I don't
know. I think they're good enough to split with the Cowboys. I really do. I think they're good enough to split with the Cowboys, but Commanders, it's a mixed bag. I can see you guys, stomping them, but I can also see you splitting with them. I don't see you guys beating the Eagles twice. Hell, I don't even see you guys beating them once. No offense, obviously, but
I think it changes this year. I think we beat them at home this year. Okay. I think we beat them at home. But last year was a shit show at home.
I also think it depends on when you play them big.
Against the Eagles.
Anyway, who else we got?
6.5. Colts, Rams, Bucks. I think Rams is insane to put at 6.5. I don't know why.
I think so too.
I think they get over that. Colts I think is interesting because yes, they'll be playing a rookie QB, but they're still a good team, I think.
Under.
You got under? 6. Okay. Colts I'll also put under. But I think they're like 6, barely getting over 6.5 maybe.
Colts,
Rams over.
Yeah, Colts under, Rams over, but not over like gross. Like I see them winning 8.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect number for them. What was that last team?
Bucks.
The Bucks. Mixed bag. I mean, Baker Mayfield will probably airmail more balls than anything else.
I think they get 6. So I can go under.
Do we even want to bother asking like who's lower than that? Because
there's one team that's lower. The Cardinals at 4.5. The Cardinals. That's surprising.
That doesn't surprise me. They fucking suck.
They suck. I think they go over, and I think there's a worse team next year, which I think might be like Texans or Commanders. So
I could see that,
or even Raiders. So we'll see. So yeah, that's the list. What is your opinion on the Cardinals, though? What do you think?
Garbage franchise, garbage QB.
Do you think they what's
garbage everything?
So you think they go under 4.5?
I can see them getting another one, like first overall.
You think they're the worst? Okay, so you think they're the worst team in the league? Okay, I don't know if they are. I think it's going to be between a few teams next year.
I think they blow it up and get Call of Duty Kyler off of their team soon. But what do I know, right?
Yeah. All right, let's go right into our head coach rankings then.
All right, I'm going to start with this.
All right, go for it.
So, I'll start at 5, and obviously work my way down.
Sure.
So, number 5, it's kind of a sleeper, but I got Doug Peterson.
I love that pick. I love that pick.
Personally, I think he's a very good coach, and you're going to hear me say that a lot. Oh, he's a very good coach. Yeah, well, they wouldn't be top 5 if they're not good coaches.
Yeah,
but
he is a good coach.
He's got the Super Bowl. He's got, he literally made Trevor Lawrence, had the system in place. Everything that you say about Daniel Jones is the same thing that's happening with Doug Peterson. They have the weapons. They have the offense. They have the coach. They have everything. Number 4, I got is your boy Dable.
Love that.
Yeah. I mean, him winning Coach of the Year is just all I need to know for him being top 5. And plus, the fact that, no offense again, you guys didn't have anything when it came to receiving help. Even just pass catchers in general.
True.
You guys won games last year through Saquon's legs, Daniel Jones's legs, and your defense.
Defense was good. I wouldn't say they were great, but yeah, I agree.
What about Kayvon Thibodeau?
He had a decent year. I mean, he was a rookie, so he didn't show out. He's gonna get better, but yeah, I agree. About
3, I got Mike Tomlin.
Okay.
I'm not gonna elaborate more on that.
I'm on the same page as you with that, so don't worry.
Number 2, I got Kyle Shanahan.
Okay.
I think that in terms of what he did last year with, the fact that he went through 3 quarterbacks. Hell, not even 3 quarterbacks. He went through almost 4 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
In the NFC Championship game, they literally had Christian McCaffrey getting a new helmet because he had to get the quarterback helmet to get the comms.
Yeah.
But I think he's a great coach.
Yeah.
You know, he really understands football, and he always brings his guys ready to play. I mean, he's had a consistent 10 to 12 win season for the past like 4 or 5 years.
Yep. I like that pick.
The fact that the only knock on him last year for not making the Super Bowl was the fact that he had Brock Purdy. No disrespect to Brock Purdy, obviously, but the fact that he was their quarterback, he goes down, and you're sitting there saying, wow, the fact that they made the NFC Championship game without a true quarterback is crazy. And then number one, and yes, this is recency bias, but number one's Andy Reid. The fact that, yes, he has Mahomes, and yeah, blah, 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 but it says something about your offense when you don't have a number one receiver. You don't. They won the Super Bowl.
You don't think Kelsey's considered a receiver? You just stick him right at tight end. Like, I would consider him, like, I would put him in that group of receiver just because of how good he is. But that's just me.
I would just call him a pass catcher.
He's a number one target. Let's just put it that way.
But the fact that, you know, we knew sitting at home watching TV, watching the game, we knew when Travis was going to get the ball, but nobody could stop him. Nobody could stop him from getting the ball.
Yeah.
That's coaching. That's Andy Reid.
That is coaching.
You know?
Talent coaching goes
Andy
a long
Reid
way.
lost Tyreek Hill and was just like, yeah, let's get some more jewelry, you know? My ring finger needs a little bit more, bling bling to it, if you know what I mean. But
all right, cool. Good
who
list.
You got? Who you
Good
got?
List. My list is different for sure. Number 5, I have Pete Carroll. I think he's had an amazing, like last year, for example. Let's put it this way. Last year, no one thought the Seahawks were making the playoffs at all. No team did, or nobody did in general. So he's a great coach. He's proven he doesn't need to rebuild to do well. And I think he's going to be a great coach for the remainder of his career, no matter who's his QB, what's around him. I think he makes players around him better. Number 4, I have Sean Payton. I think he's going to improve the Broncos a lot, and I'm kind of making a prediction, that he's going to, actually really improve the Broncos. So I'm just putting that out there and, giving him the benefit of the doubt, saying that he's been a really good coach in the past, and it's going to continue now with the Broncos. I'm just going to.
If they make the playoffs, he will win Coach of the Year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, I agree.
That division, how bad they were last year, 100%.
Yep. So 3, I have A and B because it was such a toss-up. Okay. So I have Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh because of how similar they are. How similar they are in terms of just like record in general, the success they've had with both their teams, and then just they're also in the same division. So, yeah, I have both of them. I like Mike Tomlin. I like John Harbaugh. They've gone through recent stuff that's similar with both their teams, with getting new QBs, rebuilding a little bit, but still doing well. And they've been great coaches, and they've been, some of the best coaches in the league since they've entered the league. So they're both at 3 for me.
Okay.
And then 2 is Bill Belichick. 1's Andy Reid.
I forgot about him.
You forgot about Bill Belichick?
Oh my God, I forgot about him.
Well, for me, Bill Belichick and Andy Reid could go flip-flop 1 or 2. Because, in my opinion, they are like the pinnacle of head coaching in the league. So, yeah, Bill Belichick. I mean, everyone knows like what he's accomplished.
All I'm saying,
you're about to say the argument with Tom Brady carrying him. I know that.
Maybe.
But I also think Bill Belichick had a role in that. So you can't, he's not gonna have a QB like him ever again.
Hey man, I'm saying,
like, put that out there. He's never gonna have Tom Brady again. So
all I'm saying, Andy Reid, maybe not won the Super Bowl, but got there.
Yeah.
Without Mahomes.
He did.
With Mahomes, he won Super Bowls. Belichick before Brady was about to lose his job. Belichick
was
with
he, though?
Brady. Oh yeah.
I don't know about that.
But
I know the
Belichick
rumors of
with
that,
Brady, all-time great. Probably the best head coach ever.
He's only 2 years out. Oh, wait, is it 2 years out with Tom? 3 years? 3.
I think it's 3.
3. Okay, so he's only 3 years out without Tom. Who knows? Maybe 2 years from now, if he's still coaching, he might They might draft a new QB, and he might be amazing. Who knows? But until then, they're not going to have Tom Brady QB, so he has to work with what he has. And what he has
Big Mac Jones
is not a good QB. Like, it's just, that's how it is. He's not a good QB, so he's working with a bad
Also, you
QB.
got to give him tools to win. The fact that he liked to throw to Jacoby Myers and Bill was like, nah, let's trade him for a 4th-round pick.
Yeah, but, I mean, and like you said with
Plus,
Andy
Bill's
Reid.
not an offensive mind. He never was an offensive mind.
Exactly. But their defense is fantastic, always. So,
Of course.
But like I said with Andy, what you said about Andy Reid is what I agree with as well. So, Andy Reid at 1 for me. Like I said, Bill Belichick could also be 1, maybe in a different year. Who knows? But that's our list. Good list, I think. I'm glad we have different opinions on stuff, too.
This might be a little bit of old news, but congratulations on getting, Barkley back.
Oh, yeah. So, 1-year deal, which is absurd, honestly, because it's stupid that all these rumors happened, about him trying to get as much money as possible to all of a sudden come down to $11 million for 1 year. I think he's going to try to play really hard this year to make more next year, which is obvious. I mean, I think that's a good call on his part.
I just really hope. I'm not a Giants fan, but
That he does well.
no, I think he will do well.
Yeah, I think
But
so too.
what I don't want to happen is I don't want to get deja vu, bro. I don't want it to be like he has a great season, whatever stats you want to give him, and they go, okay, we're going to franchise tag you. Okay, we're not going to pay you.
Depends how he does. I mean, we'll see. I think his loyalty towards the Giants speaks for itself just by him wanting to make a deal.
Like I said in the
think
last
that
podcast,
alone,
he doesn't strike me as a bell.
no, he's not a bad.
Dude wants to play football.
He loves the Giants too. And I think he loves his team. I think he loves his coaching staff. I think he loves Daniel Jones. So I think he's very happy being part of this team. So I think they'll get things done for future deals. I think it'll happen. I think this deal just, gets those talks out of the way. They don't have to worry about them any media talking about oh, what is he gonna do after this year? Is he gonna sign a new contract? They don't have to worry. I mean, it's only
if the
one
Giants
deal,
are bad, if the Giants are bad,
not a
he
franchise
will
talk.
get those questions. I can tell you that right now. It's the
We'll
New
see,
York
dude.
market, bro. If he falls up the stairs, they're gonna look at him and be like, "So what'd you slip on?" Have you seen the incentives
No,
in the
I haven't
deal?
seen it.
So obviously he signed the $11 million deal, but there's 3 incentives in the contract that'll give him up to an extra $1 million.
Okay.
Now, all the incentives have an A and a B. I'll tell you all the A's, and then the B is all the same.
Okay.
The first one is I think he needs to get 1,300 yards on the ground.
Okay.
Could be wrong, but
Okay,
I'm pretty sure it's 1,300. The other one is he needs to get 11 touchdowns, which is very doable for him.
That's doable for sure. Actually, it might not be because they're gonna spread the offense around a lot. They're gonna get Darren Waller involved. They're gonna get receivers involved. So I don't know if he's gonna be. I mean, depends how many touchdowns they score. Obviously, this year, they could score a shit ton, or maybe they'll have struggle. They'll struggle a little bit on offense, but
But I don't think they specified if
That's
it
tough,
was.
though.
I don't think they specified if it was rushing or all touchdowns.
I doubt it's just rushing.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
And then the third one was he needs to have between 60 to 70 receptions.
Really,
Yeah.
receptions.
Which I don't think will be that much of an issue for him because
That's a lot of receptions.
yeah,
though.
but you think about it, nothing's open, check down, halfback screen. He'll get his touches. Don't worry. But caveat of all of these is the B for all of them is they have to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
He could have, he could lead the league in rushing, have, 15 touchdowns and 70 receptions. But if they don't make the playoffs, he loses all that money, which, I don't think that's more of an individual goal. It's more of a team goal.
It's a team
but
goal.
like we talked about earlier with the schedule, it's going to be difficult. So
That's difficult, yeah. I think those incentives all make sense. I mean, I don't think they're I don't think they're unrealistic.
there's only
So-
2 of them. Obviously making the playoffs will be a tall task, but the other one is
Yeah.
60 to 70 receptions.
That's the one that surprised me.
There's an exact number somewhere out there, but I don't really remember it. But I know it's between 60 and 70. But those are the only 2 big
I'm
question
curious
marks.
to see
I
how many
have.
receptions he got last year.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. I think he'll really show his value this year. Kind of like what you said about Le'Veon. He he bet on himself, and that's what Saquon's doing. Saquon wants his money, and by God, he deserves his money. But the running back is quickly becoming devalued.
But he's loyal, though. That's my opinion. He's loyal to the Giants. He wants to be with the Giants. He loves all his teammates. He sees potential in the team with the coaching, Daniel Jones, all that stuff.
He's from this area too. He went to
Yeah.
college in Penn State.
Exactly. So I don't think he wants to be part of any other team. I'm gonna be straight up. By the way, receptions last year he had 57.
Oh.
So 338 yards though, which is pretty nice. But we'll see. I mean, I think they're gonna utilize him a little more. I think, like I said before, I think the offense.
Darren Waller should help with that too.
Darren Waller's gonna help, but I think the offense in general is gonna be better than last year. I think they're gonna, just be a better offense in terms of, just their production. So we'll see. I think all the players are gonna improve. Everyone, hopefully. So.
Speaking of contracts, did you see the deal that the Celtics gave Jalen Brown?
Yep.
5 years,
Yep.
$304 million. Oh my God!
I think
he's the highest paid player in the league.
But remember what I told you though? They see potential in him. How old was he again? Was he 27?
I think he's 26.
26?
I think so.
So remember what I said? I think they see him as a top 10 player in the NBA within the next 5 years. That's how they value him.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at it in those point of views, I think the money makes sense.
You lock him up.
You lock him up. And just like how all, money works in these leagues is that the salary cap goes up over time. So eventually, players are going to surpass that number, and we'll see what happens. But I think if they see him as a top 10 player in the league within the next 5 years, I think it makes sense. So that's my opinion on it.
The only problem I see, and it's the problem I have with a lot of these, the super max deals, is it's hard to build, especially if you have two of them. Like, for instance, Jalen Brown, I think he deserves the money. Obviously, him and Tatum are easily top 10 players in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a question. I don't think that's a question. The only problem is when you have to re-sign Tatum and you give both of them super max deals, it's hard to fill in the pieces. I've been telling you for a year or two now, their offense is stagnant. You saw it last year against Miami. You saw it I think it was more on display when they played the Warriors in the finals 2 years ago. They had moments where it almost seemed like the offense was just, okay, let's give the ball to either Tatum or Brown and just let them go to work.
I blame
Which is
coaching.
not a bad scenario, but
I think it's coaching.
There was a point in one of the games where they're up 22 or however much. They're up a substantial amount, and the Warriors go on like a 12-3 run. In those types of situations, you need a guy that you can give the ball to. Mm-hmm. Not so much of like Tatum. Just have a guy that can run a basic offense saying, okay, you stand over there. We're going to run a little pick and roll. I'm going to get you a 2. Sometimes you need a 2 to stop the bleeding. And I don't think the Celtics have that caliber player. That's why last year they went out and got Malcolm Brogdon.
I like Brogdon. He wasn't as good as people expected.
Also, because he came off the fucking bench.
He did come off the bench.
In my opinion,
but that's nothing wrong with that. You need a good bench in the NBA.
Yeah, you do. But if you need a true point guard, and Malcolm Brogdon was your true point guard, you're a guy that you brought in to say, hey, when we don't have an offense and Jason Tatum just missed his 3rd straight step back 3.
Yeah.
Like that's what
true.
You need.
Yeah, that's
and the fact that they got rid of him this offseason, bro.
Yeah, they did.
I'm pretty sure he was part of that trade with that brought Porzingis.
I think you're right.
And in my opinion, that's a bad move.
You don't like Porzingis? I think Porzingis is a good player. I think the issues he's had is with his
health,
but also just his attitude. Like I think he had problems with Dallas, especially with like his teammates and stuff. I don't know. I mean, I know with the Knicks he was like a pain in the ass.
I know he did. He was pretty well on the Wizards last year.
Yeah, he was. I don't know. I think that's a pretty.
It's easy to be good on a bad team, you know.
That too. I think it's a pretty big toss up of how he's gonna do with the Celtics. But I think Jason Tatum's next though with big contract, right? So I don't know when he signs, if he does sign one soon.
I don't know. I think the Celtics next year. I mean, they'll get their 48 to 53 wins. I think they will.
Yeah, they will.
But I don't see them going far because you're too focused on the front court. You just traded away Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart was the heart and soul of their team. There's a reason why the Warriors chose to trade Jordan Poole over trading Draymond. It's because he is the heart and soul of your team. He's the guy that keeps everyone in check. He's the guy that's going to say, you know what? Their best player is a guard. I'm going to go take him. I got him.
Yeah.
In my opinion, them trading away Marcus Smart was a very, very bad move.
I don't like it either. I think Marcus Smart's a dog. I think he's the hardest working player on that team.
Circling back to the Jalen Brown thing.
Sure.
Another thing is just, to me, this contract says, okay, Jalen Brown, you're the man. You're the guy.
Mm-hmm.
You're the, we need a two. We need a two to send the game to overtime. We're giving the ball to you.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it's Jalen Brown's team. I think it's Jason Tatum's team.
Does it say that, though, actually, when you think about it?
Yes,
does
it does.
Actually say that?
Yes, it does.
Maybe. I'm interested in seeing how they play next year, though, because of this. I don't think it's going to disrupt the team.
They got the 1-2 punch, but you need the one. You need the one in the 1-2 punch. Even in Shaq and Kobe. Shaq and Kobe were probably the best 1-2 punches in NBA history, period. But it was Shaq's team.
It was.
Shaq was the Batman to Kobe's Robin.
It was.
There's a reason Shaq calls Kobe little brother.
Whoops.
Yeah, there was a reason why Shaq called Kobe little bro. There was a reason for that.
Yeah.
Who's the little bro in Boston? Because both of them are number one guys.
Mm-hmm.
And you want that for your team. But who's getting the ball when there's enough time for one shot? Don't know.
I don't know. I'm interested in finding out. I think the Celtics are still going to be
definitely going to be Blake Griffin.
Yeah,
if he's even on the
Blake
team.
Griffin.
Yeah.
Nah, he'll be.
He's going to come in
and shoot.
No, he's going to come in and shoot the world's ugliest jump shot where he just like.
Dude, he'll be in the slam dunk contest next year just to be, rebound his career.
Yeah, bro.
That's the only thing
he'll be the Udonis Haslem. He'll be like the first guy off the bench giving high fives and just like tapping everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, he's done, bro. He's done. Rip that career.
Yeah, bro.
Fuck that guy.
Maybe if you didn't jump over Kia's, your knees would have been able to, surpass you. But
he didn't care about his career, I feel like. But that's another discussion. But anyway.
He had bigger things off the field.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or had bigger things off the court,
Yeah, for real.
He got a very specific someone pregnant, but.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's alleged though, right? That's just alleged. Like that's.
Have you seen the baby?
Yeah, but I mean, until it comes out, you never know.
Have you seen the baby, bro? The kid's 2 years old and he looks like a Cheeto. He straight up looks like Blake Griffin.
I've seen the baby. Yeah, no, you're probably right.
All right, bro. So it's been real once again.
Good convo.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode 2 of the Chow and Dimes podcast. Appreciate you for listening. And yeah, stay cool, my peoples, and we appreciate you.
Yup. Keep watching. See you later.
Oh, they can find the TikTok now. The Instagram might wait a little bit. Give me like 2 days, but the TikTok is up. You can find it. Yeah, just look up Chow and Dimes podcast, and it should definitely come up on TikTok. So, find us.